Hi, welcome to a new vlog. I have made myself a cup of tea, lit my candle, and I'm ready to start reading. And I'm going to be starting Godkiller by Hannah Kenner. This was a new release in January and it was a pre-order for me. I got the Waterstones special edition, which has beautiful sprayed edges and very nice illustration on the end papers. Oh, and it's also, let me take the jacket off, and it's also signed. But it is a relatively small book. It's less than 300 pages actually, and I've been looking forward to reading this book since January. I am definitely going to start this today, but before I do that, I'll tell you what it is about. But yeah, let's read the synopsis from the jacket. You are not welcome here, Godkiller. Kissen's family were killed by zealots of a fire god. Now she makes a living killing gods and enjoys it. That is until she finds a god she cannot kill. Skadi, a god of white lies, has somehow bound himself to a young noble, and they are both on the run from unknown assassins. Joined by a disillusioned knight on a secret quest, they must travel to the ruined city of Blenraden, where the last of the wild gods reside, to each bag a fate. Pursued by demons and in the midst of burgeoning civil war, they will all face a reckoning. Something is rotting at the heart of the kingdom, and only they can be the ones to stop it. Honestly, I think it's a kind of weird synopsis. I don't really get what's going to be happening. I know that there's the main character is called Kissen, and then there's this young noble, but there's also the disillusioned knight. That's about it. I don't know who's going on a quest with who, really. I am interested to see what's going to be happening. Also, I've heard that there's a queer relationship or some sort of representation in this book, and I heard a lot of good things when it first came out 2 months ago, so I'm excited to finally get to it. Before I start though, I have a couple more things to tell you about. First, I am also reading another book on audio, and that is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I've heard a lot of things about this series throughout the years and I never read it, so when I found it on Audible and the person who read it sounded quite good, it was recommended on Audible. I had a credit and I was just browsing and decided to get it. That was a few weeks ago and I did start it at that time, and then I didn't do anything else about it. I didn't continue, and so I decided that it was probably time to go back to it because I was quite enjoying it. So yeah, I want to also read that this week. And I did also start yesterday A Crown of Petals and Ice by Shannon and Clare, which is the third book to the Honey and Ice trilogy, which I started last year. And it was a decent, actually, I'll be honest, not very good fae trilogy and kind of fae-based urban fantasy trilogy. But I do have the tendency to want to finish what I started. And so yesterday evening, after I finished the Last Hours trilogy and finished filming that vlog, I decided to just get a move on this book, see if I can get rid of it, take it off my TBR as quickly as possible. They're not really big books, so I thought I could just fly through them. Actually, fly through this one because it's the last one in the trilogy, obviously, third book. And yes, those are my plans for the next week or so, as well as all of that I've just dumped on you. We are going to London tomorrow because I'm working on this series of videos to do with London bookshops. It's going to be a big job. and I'm not even sure when it's going to start coming out. But we have been working on it, and we've been to London once while filming bookshops, and we're going to go 2 more times to continue filming bookshops, and maybe more in the future. So I'm gonna share a few bits of what we do there, but I can't share too much because we will be working for this future project. And I think that's it. I'm gonna leave you here for now. I'm gonna sit down and read. Obviously tomorrow we're going to go to London, and then when we come back, then the day after, so Friday, I'm going to sit down and talk you through a few books that I've gotten since the beginning of the year, and probably the ones we get tomorrow, because let's be honest, if we're going to be going to bookshops, there's a high possibility that I'm going to find some books that I want to get. That's it for today. Let's get into the video. Hi, welcome to a new day. Yesterday was so much fun in London, and we did purchase some books. I did manage to read a pitiful 20 pages of this book on Wednesday. I don't really have many feelings. As I said, I really only just read 20 pages, and things are very dramatic. There's a lot of mysteries to uncover, but I do find the world interesting. So I'm actually curious to continue today. I did work for a bit this morning trying to kind of catch up, because obviously I read in the afternoon of Wednesday, and then on obviously Thursday we were in London, so today we're back, and we had a very exciting morning here today. But yeah, when I was working this morning, the world outside was in chaos. We started the morning with a bit of rain, then suddenly there was snow, but not too much snow. There was a layer, and then it stopped and the layer melted. It was just a tiny layer. It wasn't fully sticking to the ground. And then suddenly it really started snowing, and there was a whole, 1-2 fingers actual layer on the floor. And then it all melted again. So it's all gone. But I can still, I feel, and in the predictions on my phone, it says there's going to be maybe some more snow or something later on, but it's now just stopped. So I've decided that now that I've kind of finished work for the day, I would make myself a tea, light my candle, see if there's gonna be any more snow or anything falling from the sky. And I would get into this high fantasy story. And yeah, I think those are my plans. I actually recorded a lot of this snow and rain from this morning, so I'll now roll on to that footage. And because of this cold from the past 2 days, I feel like my skin is so dry, so I may have a little pamper evening this evening, and yeah, just kind of drink tea, read my book, and have a little pamper evening. And I'll give you a deeper update when I actually have read a bit of this book, because we don't have much yet. See you in a bit. Hi, so today is Tuesday, basically a week after the beginning of this video. It was supposed to be a kind of weekly video to document my reading, but I haven't filmed that many clips. And the reason I haven't filmed that many clips is because this video kind of failed. I just wasn't interested in reading. I did actually read quite a bit. I read 400 pages. So I read 100 pages of Godkiller, and I decided I don't want to continue right now. I like the world. I'm curious about the storyline and what's going to be happening. But I think I've mentioned this many times, I'm a character person. And this book, I just haven't been able to connect with any of the characters. I'm not sure what it is. I don't care about any of them. And that's just hindering my whole experience. I've literally read it in little drips here and there throughout the week. Every time I would sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna read this. And then I would, for some reason, pick up my phone. And when I noticed, I was scrolling through Instagram and Pinterest, and I wasn't even reading anymore. So I've decided to just put it down for now. I'm not going to DNF it or unhaul it, because I feel like this could be a good kind of winter, maybe autumn read. You know, it's a bit darker and it's a quick book. Like, I've read 100 pages. I only have 180 left. So I feel like I might pick it back up when I'm in a mood for a darker fantasy. But I feel like at this point in time, I'm actually more interested in springy, cozy fantasy, romance reads than something like this. I just want to emphasize that I am enjoying the book. I really enjoy how diverse the characters are. And I'm also enjoying the world. The writing is good. The atmosphere is quite dark and emotional, but still has the kind of medieval towns and nature feel to it. So that's quite good. Yeah, I think the only thing that's hindering my enjoyment is really the characters. And so that's the reason why I decided to stop because of that lack of connection. The other book I was reading is A Crown of Petals and Ice. I managed to read 50% of that book, which is around 150 pages. I read basically this whole thing last Thursday on the way and back from London. I then read a bit on Friday as well before going to bed, after I read a bit of Godkiller. And I stopped there. First of all, I did comment in the beginning that I wasn't super loving this trilogy and that the writing isn't amazing. The characters, in general, the trilogy isn't amazing. And I still want to finish it, and I'm going to try and push throughout the next few weeks. But I doubt I'm going to be speaking about it because honestly, I have no thoughts. I'm not enjoying it very much. I know they're going to go into this big battle now, which I have no interest in. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not a big lover of battles. So yeah, I think I might just skim through the rest of the book. And apart from the little bit of romance that's kept me going, because I want to know what's going to happen at the end with the two of them, I literally have no interest in anything else from this trilogy. So yeah, fantastic. The third book I was reading, it's The Last Magician. Again, I don't know what it is about this book that I don't enjoy. The characters are a factor in it. I generally don't like time travel plots, but I thought this could be interesting because they go back and it's about a heist, it's about a found family, actually about two found families. I thought it could be quite interesting and I'm not disliking it, but I have read 150 pages out of 500 pages. And again, I don't feel a great connection with the characters yet. I want to continue reading it. Until now, you're kind of only establishing the world a bit. You have the magicians, you have the order, which is trying to protect the world from the magician, and they hunt these magicians. But yeah, and the magicians are just trying to fight back and protect their place, or at least figure out a way to leave the city and find their life somewhere else, because obviously they don't want to die, but the order is keeping the magical people in, or if you try to leave, you get killed. And so the main character is she's a time traveler, and she was brought up to steal these artifacts. And she has been sent back in time because at a certain point there was a heist involving these very important magical artifacts. And so she's sent back by her mentor to infiltrate this group that did this heist with basically her own agenda or her mentor's agenda. I think the writing is good. The characters are interesting. It gives me Six of Crows vibes in the beginning, but I'm just not into it yet. I need to form these connections with the characters, but they haven't given me the opportunity to do that yet. I'm not super enjoying these three books. I didn't really feel connected to all of them, and I've decided to not fully DNF any of them actually, but just put them to the side for now so I can read stuff that I'm actually interested in and do good vlogs for you guys, vlogs that I'm passionate about, and stop trying to force myself to finish books just so I can share my thoughts with you guys. So yeah, hopefully the next vlog doesn't end up like this, but I doubt it because I have a very nice spring TBR lined up that is going to be coming to you guys in the very near future, full of cozy fantasies and exciting books. Yeah, and even some that were in my recent book haul. So yeah, hopefully you found something in this vlog to connect to and that you enjoyed it, even though it wasn't the happiest or the most successful one. But yeah, not all of them can be, unfortunately. I was having the best reading year, and this just kind of brought me down to earth. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time with the Spring TBR. Have a nice day. Bye.